Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of our What No You Explain Tournament of Champions. I'm your host, Braden Thorvaldson, up in the booth. The crowd is roaring, the drinks are flowing, and I can't believe how quickly we managed to sell out Madison Square Garden for this event. Allegedly. Prove me wrong. Anyways, we've got one heck of a trivia battle tonight as one of our first guests takes on one of the guests I've most recently met, Haley versus Gates. Both of them are veterans of the podcast sphere, both have incredible amounts of highly specific knowledge, and both of them do not like to lose. We'll head on down to one of our two ringside reporters who are standing by with Haley now. Braden? Thanks, Braden. I'm here right now with Haley, who seems absolutely ready and raring to go. Haley, I know this is a big matchup for you tonight, so did you do any extra preparation for this bout?
Actually, yeah, I did. I brushed up on my general trivia knowledge. I went to a couple extra trivia nights. Normally I go to like 2 or 3 in a week, but this time I decided, you know what, we gotta go hard. We gotta prep for this. And I went to 3 in 2 days.
That is incredible. I love this dedication. Now, as of course our viewers know, you are the host of Nominated, a podcast on Academy Award nominated movies. Do you think your experience doing deep dive research into these movies will help you out tonight?
No, because I'm familiar with the style of trivia that we tend to get out of What No You Explain, and tends to be more history-based. So that is also my forte, but my podcast is not the reason I'm good at it.
That is entirely fair. I have heard rumors that it's because the host is an enormous fucking nerd, just not so much in the way of movies.
The good news is I am also an enormous fucking nerd, so...
Well, I was just going to say that'll work out well for you. All right, I would say, and on to your opponent. What do you say about the rumors about your opponent that he has convinced his coworkers to hide around his work and when he comes by to jump out and scream facts at him because he believes that the adrenaline will help him remember these facts better?
I can confirm that is 100% true. I have spoken to his coworkers. They are all terrified of him.
You know, that is it's entirely fair for the confirmation. We appreciate that dedication over here. So, lastly, I know your opponent
I don't appreciate it.
Well, you know what? That's fair. I mean, we've got pub quizzes versus terrifying coworkers. We'll see how this goes. Yep. But lastly, I know that your opponent is far away on the other side of the arena with our other ringside reporter. But if he were here right now, would you have any trash talk for him?
I got plenty of trash talk for someone who claims to know a lot, but also has the memory of an entire goldfish.
Oh, those are fighting words. It is a very good thing that he's on the other side of the arena. And actually, speaking of that, thanks very much, Haley, and good luck tonight. We'll head on over to the other side with Gates, who is talking to our other reporter. Braden? Thanks, Braden. I'm here right now with Gates, who has absolutely loaded himself up with sports drink to ward off dehydration.
Correct.
Absolutely. Hydration is important in these knockdown, drag-out battles. Gates, I know that you're relatively new to the competitive trivia circuit in Madison Square Garden, so is there any extra preparation that you did for tonight's battle?
Well, Braden, I just want to say that, a lot of luck kind of went into the preparation for all this, so I'll be relying on a lot of that tonight. I really feel like the luck is on my side, and I'm just channeling all that into a good match tonight.
You know, I would say that is absolutely fair. Luck could very well be on your side. So, of course, as our viewers know, you are the host of 2 Meters Apart, a show where you have conversations with close friends that develop into meaningful dialogue. Do you think that this experience will help you in a competitive circumstance ran by somebody actively messing with you and your opponent?
Only if the questions that have been curated are all about my friends and my family. I will knock this out of the park. Otherwise, I'm going to say it's about 50-50 there, Braden. So we'll see how that goes for me again tonight.
Well, I mean, the host does tend to pick very arcane and random bits of trivia, so again, who knows? So, and again, we'll go back on, I would say we'll talk about your opponent really quickly. What do you say about to the rumors about your opponent that she has in fact slightly tweaked her neck due to sleeping with an encyclopedia underneath her pillow to help osmose helpful factual information?
Well, to tell you the truth, Braden, we just want to focus on ourselves here. We always want to step up to the plate and focus on, who we are. We don't ever want to, just throw our opponents under the bus. But I absolutely feel like if we just focus on ourselves, give it 100% here on our end. That's all the effort that we need. I'm not gonna have to go through too much effort, talking about my opponent. She's absolutely fantastic in her own right. But I'm just expecting another good match here tonight here.
You know what? I would say you're taking the high road, and we appreciate that over here. But I have, I would say I have one last question. I know you've been taking the high road, and I know that your opponent is just getting ready for the match on the other side of the arena with our very handsome ringside reporter. But if she were here right now, would you have any trash talk for her?
All's fair in love and war. So again, I just wish her luck, but no love lost in this match here. We're going for the gold.
Going for the gold. Going for the gold. All right, thanks, Gates, and we'll throw on over to the announcer who seems just about ready to start the battle. Good luck tonight, champ.
Thank you.
Can we drop the bid for 2 seconds?
Okay.
And make sure that your listeners know we are in a relationship and are currently recording this in the same room.
Yep, they are within about 6 inches of each other, I think. Like, if we're talking separation, it's pretty great.
It's quite, we're very close right now.
Yep, it is. Yeah.
Definitely not going to have anything. This is not going to have any impact at all on our evening for
correct
together tonight.
Yeah, this is not going to hurt anything tonight.
No, totally fine. I was just going to say, listen, for me, it's later. It's later at night, so I'm just going to bed after this.
Fair. That's fair.
Cinco de Mayo, man. We're going out drinking.
Yeah, some of us have more lies to write.
Gates.
I spout lies. Spout all the lies, apparently.
Fake news media.
Yeah, fake news.
I mean, I was thinking more of me, but okay. Let's go that way. Jesus.
Someone is just ashamed to be associated with mainstream media, obviously.
Gates Gorin, fake news.
Oh, we can never show any of this. All right.
We derailed you.
Oh, no, please. All right. Let's see if I can start this announcer voice. Ladies and gentlemen, others of all ages, tonight is the night where it all begins. The night of the What No You Explain Tournament of Champions. We've got a trivia brawl to start them all tonight with 2 opponents raring for a fight. In the red corner, coming in with 1 podcast season, 26 episodes, and over 100 Academy Award nominated films watched. It's the Oscar Opinionator, Star Trek Rewinder, Celebrity Corraller, and all-around good paller. It's Haley. Can she go through the gates of hell himself? Let's meet her opponents. In the blue corner, coming in with 2 podcast seasons, 15 episodes, and the uncountable genuine conversations and closer friendships as a result, it's the Saskatoon Slugger, the escape room escapator, the local news lover himself. It's Gates.
Okay, hold on.
This is the best intro you've ever received.
Yeah, okay.
I do outbound messages, by the way.
That was so good, dude. I'm very impressed and happy with those intros.
I'm very glad, because that was a very stressful 45 minutes trying to figure out how to... I would say, okay, what do I know about Gates?
Based off that intro, you know my entire life story.
Pretty much.
I was like, what can I explain about Gates without actually, like, going first name, last name, and where you work?
Yeah, fair.
I was like, okay, this is the line I'm bouncing off of.
It was a great line. Well done.
Thank you. All right, Haley, Gates, we want a nice, clean trivia fight. No Uncle John's bathroom readers hidden off screen. I would say no Reader's Digests in the bathroom. 1, 2, 3, and think. Gates, you get to pick our category first. Your 5 categories are Miracles of Evolution, Maniacs of History, Otters, Ancient Advancements, and the Grab Bag.
Ooh, we love a good grab bag, but I think we're going to start off tonight's cage match with Ancient Advancements.
Ancient Advancements.
That's the name of the category, right?
Sure.
Yep. You nailed it. You got it. Ancient Advancements. As you all know, this is 2 truths and 1 lie. I will tell you 3 statements. 1 of them is the absolute lie. 2 of them are the absolute truth. Number 1. The ancient Mesopotamians were considered to be one of the cradles of civilization and were credited with many inventions. The one of which may surprise you was the invention of the suburbs. Given that many wealthier people in Babylon, one of the great cities of Mesopotamia, did not wish to live within the crowded confines of the city center. Larger, more secluded houses were built for these wealthier people in the sections of the city separated from the noise of the marketplace and the city gates. Statement number 2. The ancient Romans were credited with many advancements in society at the time. But the takeout restaurant is not often considered one of them. Romans with a very busy work schedule did not have space in their house for food storage dedicated kitchen, or that just didn't have time to cook. Went to a thermopolium, where they would be able to get food served to them in a bowl from a stand facing the street. However, they were also considered to be crime-infested areas by many upper-class Romans, and certain emperors, such as Claudius and Caligula, demanded their closure. The more things change, the more things stay the same. Statement 3. There are fewer technology arms races more long-standing than the battle between cops and robbers, but in medieval Cairo, would-be thieves enlisted an unlikely accomplice. To see if there was anyone in the house that they were planning to rob, they would send a turtle with a candle on its shell inside the house. If someone was in the house, there would obviously be some sort of reaction because a turtle with a candle on its shell is an unusual occurrence. If there was a reaction, the robbers knew to try again later. If there was no reaction, they went to work. Alright, Haley, since Gates chose the category, you get to lock in your answer first. We'll get the explanations later, but first we need you to lock in an answer.
I'm going to lock in C as the lie.
C as the lie. All right, Gates, what do you think?
I would like to lock in the second line as the lie.
I would say the takeout restaurant.
The takeout restaurants is the lie.
All right. Say, Haley, do you have any particular reason why you might not believe that a turtle with a candle on its shell might be larcenous?
Well, my reasoning is actually because I kind of know the other two are true. The Romans did invent takeout, although I don't know if it was for the reasons stated. Because usually it was wealthy people were the only ones that had a kitchen. And I am vaguely familiar with the layout of ancient Mesopotamian cities, and there are definitely suburbs out there. Plus, I don't know that thieves in Cairo would care enough to put a turtle with a candle on it.
Nope, all very fair points. Gates, you've taken a slightly different route here. What made you think that the Romans did not invent fast food takeout restaurants?
Okay, well, basing everything without Haley's
absolutely
explanation. I'm also kind of just going off my episode with you when we did this, where based on all three, there was one that was incredibly outrageous, which in this case to me is the turtle with the candle on its shell. For me, that's incredibly outrageous, and it's just one of those that just has to be true. And the one that just seems like it's just makes sense that it's true. And for me, that was the Mesopotamians coming up with the suburbs. So you even that out, you kind of hedge, and you say that the one that's left over is the lie. So that is the one I'm going with. But clearly, I am behind. So we'll see. We'll see.
Well, I appreciate both. I would say both your psychological lead into me, and also towards your thing. But unfortunately, you are both wrong.
Ooh.
The ancient Mesopotamians did not invent suburbs.
Interesting.
I was just going to say the medieval Cairo one is, thanks to Sandy Toxvig, and quite interesting. I was just going to say in QI. But yeah, no, by and large, you wanted to get a bowl of food, you headed to the Thermopolium, and that's what you did. So there's still nothing on the board, but we've still got time left. All right, Haley, I would say it is your turn to pick. We have Miracles of Evolution, Maniacs of History, Otters, and of course, The Grab Bag.
Maniacs of History.
Maniacs of History.
Who didn't see that one coming?
I like history, okay?
All right. Statement number 1. In the early 1970s, English songs were doing spectacularly well on the Italian music charts. Adriano Celentano, a very famous Italian singer and musician in Italy, decided that he wanted to get in on this fascination with the English language and write an English language song. The thing was, he didn't speak English at the time. He composed a beat that looped over and over again and simply improvised lyrics that sounded English. The song was released in the UK under the title The Language of Love, but everywhere else as Prison Colin en Cien sur Sol, and became a #1 hit in Italy, France, Germany, and Belgium. Statement number 2. After Kim Il-sung, the first leader of North Korea, and Kim Jong-un's grandfather, had consolidated power, well, he continued a streak of self-aggrandizement that his son and grandson continue to this day. Much of Kim Il-sung's early cult of personality type of statements were around his physical image. It became a criminal offense to write on newspapers bearing Kim Il-sung's photo, or even to use said newspaper to write parcels. In 1960, Kim Il-sung even made a declaration that anyone in North Korea bearing the, quote, style of hair of the great leader would be summarily executed. This edict was not a long-lasting one, but again, both his son and grandson made proclamations around allowed hairstyles of their subjects. Statement number 3. Peter the Great scoured the Russian Empire in search of dwarves and giants in an effort to breed a race of each of them. And while he didn't manage to find any giants, he found a significant number of dwarves, which, by and large, made his life significantly better. Routinely, he would have a huge pie baked for state dinners, and then have a dwarf get naked and wait inside the pie for the opportune moment to jump out and scare the crap out of his guests. All right, Haley, since you chose the category, Gates, you get to pick first. I would say you get to choose first.
Right, can I ask a clarifying question?
Absolutely.
Can you repeat the Italian or the name that the song was known as in countries other than England?
Prison colon and scenes ein siu sol.
Can you type it in the chat, please?
Boy, can I. I needed to put it in phonetically, so that's going to be on there as well.
That's fine.
It gives me more time to figure this out.
All right, Gates. Do we have a prediction on which one is the lie?
Yes, we do. I believe the Peter the Great Dwarves is the lie.
Mm-hmm. All right, Haley.
I think the Adriano Santillanos Language of Love song is the lie.
All right. I would say we've locked that in. So, Gates, what makes you think Peter the Great wasn't on a hunt to actually find a race of dwarves and giants for potentially pie-baked purposes?
So I'll work backwards. So the Kim Il-sung North Korea thing, that one just seems to make the most sense. It just seems like we've seen the propaganda and all that, the kind of overruling nature of the leaders of that particular state. So that one just seems like it's, again, one of those, it seems to be the most true, so I think it probably is. And unfortunately for Haley, that Italian song is true because I have heard this personal song. And fun fact, it showed up on my Twitter timeline again today. So I re-listened to it, and I don't know, the fact that this came up really just made it about a 50-50 shot for me at this point. So again, luck does play a little bit of a part in these these contests.
I think he was getting insider information.
No, you cannot blame me.
I won't lie to you. I wrote down that information like 8 months ago. So this is interesting to me. Adriano Celentano would be so happy.
He would.
All right, Haley, what makes you think that incredibly elaborately sounding one might be the lie?
Because I'm familiar with music history, and I've never heard of this song.
That's fair. That's fair.
Also, I'm pretty sure I've heard of stories where Peter the Great had people jump out of food. Like, that sounds like a thing Peter the Great would do.
Well, I have some good news for the both of you. You two are exactly the same. Yet again, you are both wrong.
I knew it.
Seriously?
Oh, when you just mentioned it like crap.
What happened to don't trust your gut, Gates?
I know. The gut was right there. I was looking at it, and then I put the dash beside the Peter the Great thing. I was like, oh, I second guessed myself. You know what? I think it was the extra time that I was given, to be honest.
You overthought it.
It was allowed. The referee allowed it.
It's true.
And if you had wanted to lock in your answer, you could have cut me off.
Absolutely. That's very true.
You dick.
Oh.
All right. We are still tied at 0-0. So, listen, I'm taking some satisfaction in this, but, we'll see how this goes. All right. This is round 3. Gates, you get to pick Miracles of Evolution, Otters, or the grab bag.
I feel like I feel like you're going to leave.
Why are you looking at me?
I'm trying to get a read.
There's nothing going on up here. He's trying to get a read on like TV fuzz. It's just static.
But it's like, it could be one of those magic eye things, right? So if I look at that, if I
you let your eyes just...
No, that's when you look down here.
Okay.
I wasn't going to mention eye line, but all right, fair enough.
Just because I think it's a cute category, we're going to go with otters. Brayden.
All right, we are going with otters. I would say it is, well, all right, 3 statements about otters. Statement number 1. Otters have skin pockets for their favorite rocks. Given that a lot of their diet does involve smashing hard-shelled organisms in order to get at the food inside, otters have evolved skin pockets so they can carry rocks around in. Because trying to find a handy rock, it's not always easy. Statement number 2. Otters do have fur, yet they spend a significant amount of time in the water. If you've ever had to dry a dog after they jumped in a puddle, you know that anything with fur will carry a lot of water with it. How otters get around that is by spending a fair amount of their day grooming themselves like a cat, covering their fur in saliva. That additional layer essentially makes the fur waterproof, allowing them to swim around without the water getting in their fur. Number 3. There was an evolutionary ancestor of the sea otter that was a remarkably successful pack hunter. Given that they can hold their breath for up to 8 minutes, one of the otters would play dead, attempting to attract larger fish to their location. When one of the other fish bit, per se, 8 to 10 other otters appear, cutting off the fish escape and tearing it apart with their teeth. They never had the same otter used as bait more than one time, given the danger of their role. Alright, Gates, since you chose the category, Haley gets to pick first. I do appreciate that you two do in fact have notebooks.
You've been writing them down. This is what you get for pitting the couple against each other.
Yeah, fair.
I am going to say that the lie is that otters groom themselves with their saliva.
All right, we're locking you in for saliva grooming being the lie.
I don't like you making that face.
All right.
You're completely misconstruing this face. I'm locking in skin pockets.
You're locking in skin pockets. All right.
I would say this was a video pocket or video pocket.
Video pocket. Yeah. See.
It's difficult to say. It's fine. Yeah, you're good.
I wish this was a video podcast so everyone could see the face he made as he said that. It was the cutest freaking thing I've ever seen. And if I wasn't already dating him, I definitely would.
Well, there we go. I would say you're both adorable, and one of these days it'll be a video podcast. But for now, I just don't have the internet bandwidth for it.
And that fair.
Yeah, I was saying Haley can attest to that. All right, so we're going to start with the explanation. Haley, why do you think otters aren't just covering themselves in their own saliva most of the day?
Well, I know that they have skin pockets for their rocks. Because otters have favorite rocks that they use to break open the shells, and it's really fucking cute when they're like, no, this isn't my rock.
I didn't think they would have actual an evolution skin pocket. Okay.
Otters are fucking cute. Honestly, this was a toss-up. I have no clue. I was like, it could be that their ancestors are pack hunters. It could be that they groom with saliva. I feel like they don't groom with saliva because if they're water creatures, they would have evolved something.
Nope, that's entirely fair. Gates, why no skin pockets?
Okay, so I just believe that 3 is the truth because Zootopia, very historical based movie, predator prey, that whole situation. So the pack hunter evolution, I buy that absolutely. And then again, the waterproof grooming thing just seems to be something that animals would end up doing. And if I were to choose between an animal evolving with something to protect their skin or unable to protect their skin versus something that grows into a pocket, I just feel like the pocket thing is a little bit more far-fetched. Plus, I took your advice. I went with my gut on this one. I went with skin pockets.
Counterpoint, kangaroos.
Yeah, I think you broke him. Well, this is going to be another round of which you both have a commonality yet again.
Oh, damn it!
So wait, you're telling me that Zootopia has lied to me?
Zootopia has lied to me, and despite the rabbit I have never had a rabbit give me a speeding ticket, nor am I ever going to. I don't think. They just can't outrun me.
Okay, you put it in that sense. It's probably not a real movie.
This
Okay.
is a problem that for your first recording of this, neither of us have gotten a single one right.
Listen, that's the reason that tiebreakers exist.
Yeah, you're going to need that tiebreaker probably for me.
Listen, I won't lie to you. I won't lie to you for this. For the otter one, I literally put, like, until I wrote it, done, brackets, may need a better lie. Because I thought both of you just... I thought the two people that I had with this was just like... No, it's like, who thinks otters are pack hunters? All right, no, fair enough. All right.
People who don't know anything about otters.
You're right. You know what? I actually have, like, donated to, like, otter-based charities before, so I think that's also might be like... Oh, I might know a little bit more about otters than most.
Yeah. That sounds about
correct.
right.
Widely varying information. Okay. Haley, miracles of evolution or the grab bag?
Grab bag.
Oh, wow. I thought you were going to leave that to last.
Why?
We're going for the grab bag. See, I got to put the bass in my voice just because, you know.
Or as Jeopardy calls it, potpourri.
Potpourri, yes.
What? I've watched a lot of Jeopardy. Like, an unholy amount of Jeopardy.
It's pretty good. Yeah, you know what to say? What else is there at, like, I think it's like 3 p.m., 4 p.m.?
It comes on at 6, but my parents used to record it. So for a solid 2 years, almost every night at dinner, my parents and I would sit down and watch an episode of Jeopardy. Sometimes 2. For the record, anytime it's a musical question, the answer is always Hamilton.
Yeah, because I was just gonna say STEM nerds don't know any other musicals.
And if it's Founding Fathers or musical, it's Hamilton.
Not even a Jeffers. Never mind. I was like, we're getting off topic, but yes.
Boner.
I mean, so were most of them, but you know, right. I digress.
Yes, most of them were. They were all terrible people, but they were products of their time. Which doesn't make them good people, just makes them old.
Yep. And also dead. So, fuck them.
Very dead.
Yes.
Statement 1. Pineapples used to be so expensive that people couldn't afford to eat them, only rent them. Columbus attempted to bring some back to Europe after his initial expeditions, but they just refused to grow in European conditions, even in hothouses. It still became a much sought-after fruit, with George Washington naming it in his diary as one of his favorite foods. However, a pineapple back then would cost about the equivalent of $8,000 US today, so most people couldn't even afford to buy one to consume. However, they could pay the equivalent of about $150 US an evening to have one as a centerpiece for a lavish party. This was not only much more acceptable to the wealthy, but not super extravagantly wealthy, so a burgeoning pineapple rental business occurred within the more southern American states. Number 2. The King of England owes all the whales within 3 miles of Britain. Due to an unrepealed statute from the 1300s, I was very tempted to stop right there, by the way.
You should have. I was waiting. I was waiting for you to go into a third one.
Nope, that was it. All right. Due to an unrepealed statute from the 1300s, all sturgeons, porpoises, whales, and dolphins are recognized as fishes royal. When they are captured within 3 miles of the UK shores or washed ashore, they may be claimed on behalf of the Crown, reported Time magazine. The king also co-owns all the swans on the Thames River and employs a keeper of the swans to maintain a census of his swan subjects.
Fine question. Who does he co-own them with?
An excellent question. I did not write it down. I believe there's an actual Swan Keepers Society of Great Britain that he does share the responsibility with. Statement number 3. Throughout much of the 19th century, the duel between who had the best long-distance rifle was generally fought between 2 camps, those that favored the Whitworth rifle and those that favored the Enfield pattern 1853 rifle musket. Their respective inventors, Sir Joseph Whitworth and Lee Enfield, hated each other's guts on both the professional and personal front, as Whitworth believed Enfield to be a hopped-up lower-class inbred hick, and Enfield thought Whitworth was out of touch with what the market wanted, and was only successful because of his old money and connections. Darn old money and connections. The problem was that both of their rifles performed just about identically, so neither could corner the market. On the ship over, Whitworth was mulling over an idea on how to increase his rifle's range, when he saw a ship's navigator concentrating on a telescope, holding it up to his eye as he concentrated on the horizon. That was Whitworth's eureka moment, as he realized that increasing the distance that the shooter could see would be able to increase the potential range of the rifle. When his boat docked in Savannah, he bought every telescope he could get his hands on and tried to attach it to the rifle. However he managed it, it impressed Davis, who put in an order for 10,000 of them after the demonstration, when the Whitfield outperformed the Enfield musket by hitting a target 600 yards further away.
Sorry, Whitfield or Whitworth?
Whitworth, my apologies. I just combined the two at the end. Jesus Christ. All right, we've got Ailey, you've gone with the grab bag, so Gates, you get to pick first. Pineapples, King of England owning Wales, or the duel between the long-distance rifles?
I just also first want to say that these three are very well written.
They're really good.
I mean, they're all really good, but these three in particular, like, I feel like they're all the truth. But I think based off of the stories that wow, that's really tough. I'm gonna need a couple seconds.
Yeah,
definitely.
No, that's copyrighted.
Oh, fuck. Greg, cut that out, please.
Wow, these are, again, it's just a testament to your writing, Braden. It's very well done.
You're very kind. I'm not giving you a bonus point.
I know. I'm not. That one I wasn't fishing for, but
just on the off chance. Just on the off chance.
Okay, I'm going with my gut. I'm just gonna say the rifle scope story is the lie.
All right, Haley, what are we thinking?
Wait, are you saying that the rifle scope story is a lie, or the
statement itself,
the rivalry is
the whole?
Sorry, the scope. The scope is the statement. I would say the scope is the statement part.
Thank you.
Yeah, the third statement is.
It's a long hunt and needed an ungodly amount of clarification beforehand.
I actually agree. I also think the rifle scope is the lie.
All right, you two. I would say you've looked at each other and just, yeah, fuck it, we agree with each other now. All right, who wants to explain why?
I guess I'll go first because I put the.
What? No, you explain.
Oh, it would be. I think this would be beneficial if we were 2 meters apart. That's how I feel about this.
I get the sense that this is definitely going to be a nominated episode.
We
did it.
Okay, we got that out of the way. Anyway,
you know what? I think we might need some bleeping space, Jim.
Bonus one. That was a bonus one for sure.
Thank you. All right, Gates, explain yourself.
The pineapple rental thing. Well, first of all, I went with my gut on this one. The pineapple rental thing just seems to be one of those ones that just seems so viable. You know, it just seems like it could just really be true. The exoticness of the pineapple selling for that much, but people still wanting to be, you know, up in that sort of class for a fraction of the price. It just feels correct to me. And I feel like, this could be way off base, but there's going to be a new King of England tomorrow. Maybe throwing that in there potentially could be the whole situation, maybe. And I'm also kind of basing that being the truth off the fact that you kind of the whole Swan Society thing just seemed like that was very natural to me. So I don't think that was something that was I don't think you were grasping at that. I think that's something that exists. So
to clarify, I was not asking that question to throw you off. I genuinely was like, who does he own it?
No. It's not often that the royal family co-owns something. So no, that's a fair question. It's a very fair question. All right, Haley, why do you think it wasn't just, I would say the first sniper rifle wasn't just somebody screwing a telescope onto a rifle?
Because the Winchester rifle doesn't have a scope, and that was a later era of rifle.
Well, I would say you two are both on the board now. You are correct. That was the lie that took me an hour and a half to research and write.
Wow.
There was a lot of information that went to that one.
That was really good.
It was really good. I almost went with that as being complete truth, but
all right, we are 1-1, and we are going into the final one.
Whoa.
I would say it is Miracles of Evolution. Snuggle up, you guys, because it's going to get maybe competitive.
What do you
All
mean?
right. Oh, I
I'm
don't
going
know.
to crush this man.
This is one of this. I would say the facial expressions are the reason that I'm really sad that, again, this isn't a video podcast.
I'm very, my facial expressions are very animated.
Both of you. Both of you. All right. Miracles of evolution. Statement number 1. Roosters have built-in earplugs that keep it from going deaf. When a rooster crows, it can reach up to 140 decibels, which is absolutely above the sound level that hearing loss occurs. As it turns out, the farm fowl have built-in earplugs. Researchers found that when a rooster opens its beak to crow, its external auditory canals close off, preventing sound from coming in and doing any damage. Statement number 2. Dolphins have actual names that they create for themselves and can be identified as such. Early in life, a dolphin creates a unique vocal whistle that allows it to be identified by other dolphins in its pod. A team of researchers at the University of St. Andrews in Scotland found that the animals responded when their specific call was played back to them. Number 3. Sloths can, in fact, reach high speeds when faced with a fight or flight scenario. Traditionally very slow-moving animals, sloths can reach speeds of up to 20 kilometers per hour in a high-stress situation, but that does not come without cost. Sloths need to eat voraciously and then hibernate for days afterwards to replenish the calories burned during their run. All right, I would say Gates, since you are the quote-unquote picker, Haley gets to go. I would say Haley gets to go first for this one. Rooster earplugs, dolphin names, or high-speed sloths? I think I might start a thrash metal band named Rooster Earplugs.
I want it.
Yeah.
This is a tough one. This is really well done. I'm gonna go with sloths reaching high speeds.
All right, we're locking in high-speed sloths. All right, Gates.
I am locking in dolphin names.
All right.
Please don't tell me you like heard this. That would crush me immediately. Look at that face. Look, if she's heard of it, this is what happens. This has been a pleasure. This has been a pleasure, Brayden. It's been great.
Dolphins definitely have names.
Listen, she was also pretty confident on I would say she's also pretty confident on the Mesopotamian suburbs.
True.
So, you know.
That is very true. So we'll see what happens.
Let's talk about this. Haley, why do you why don't you believe in the high-speed sloth?
I don't know. I guessed, and I was like, what do I think is more believable? Roosters having built-in earplugs or sloths reaching high speeds? Because I know that sloths used to be very fast, but they've evolved, and that's why they're three-toed, so they like hang on trees, and so that's how they avoid a lot of their predators, I think.
All right.
Yeah,
that's fair. All right, Gates. Why don't you believe that a dolphin could be named Steve?
So I fully understand that dolphins are very smart animals. But I just feel like there aren't enough tones that you could differentiate. You know what I mean? That's kind of where I'm going.
I mean, fair enough. I mean, we work pretty well with 26 letters, but I digress.
Tones could, yeah, you know what? Don't mind me. I also feel like I've seen a video of a sloth moving very quickly. So I don't feel like that one was, I feel like that one was true. So it was really a toss-up between the other ones.
Nope, that is entirely fair. All right.
No.
For all the marbles.
You got it.
I think we tied.
Haley is right.
Yeah.
Well done.
So, in the end, Haley managed to pull out the victory for a 2-1 hard-fought match that is absolutely not going to affect the rest of their evening whatsoever.
Not in the slightest.
Nope, not in the slightest. It is going to totally be fine. Yes, you won. Jesus Christ.
What?
Hold on. Let's do this for the editing. Haley, you won.
I told you, it's TV static up in my brain right now.
Dolphins do have actual names.
I mean, hey, again, this is a very informative.
Dolphins have actual names, and roofers have roofers also have built-in earplugs. I was just gonna say those nail guns are real fucking loud, man.
They're loud.
They're real fucking loud, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, sloths, they hang from things. It's not
They
often
just
that
don't.
things can get up there. They hang from things and they throw their young at predators when predators
See,
get
that one
too
I knew.
near.
Why didn't you just throw that one?
Survival of the literally survival of the fittest. You chuck
They can
it
make
in.
more. They can make more. It's fine.
Well, this was lovely. Obviously I'm upset that I lost, but I could not have lost to a better person. She
Yeah, you
absolutely
could have.
She absolutely deserves to move on.
Do not.
And obviously I'm rooting for her the whole way now.
Babe.
Oh, absolutely. You've got the one, because then you can say that you lost to the What No You Explain Tournament of Champions champion. Now, I was just going to say, now you've got a backer. You've got a backer
Correct.
now.
Yeah. Or I could completely turn heel at the very end and root for whoever else.
Yep, that's also true.
I like the idea that you are playing with you might not do that. We had a conversation yesterday about how he is always the villain when it's funny.
It's true.
He is Wario.
Yeah. This is 100% facts. This is not a lie.
No, you know what? That's fair. You know what? I appreciate a comedic heel turn as much as the next person, considering, aside from this podcast, that has been the most successful thing I have ever done, being a comedic heel turn.
Yep.
Just not even a question. But thank you so much. I would say thank you so much, Haley and Gates. Gates, it was a pleasure having you on. Haley, well, we'll see you in a little bit.
I'm gonna have to study up for the next round.
Yep. I was just gonna say, don't kink your neck too much from sleeping under encyclopedias.
I should have studied more.
Yep. Maybe you should have had more of your coworkers scream facts at you.
I should have.
You know what?
Yep.
While you were seducing women, I was studying the books.
That is a spectacular thing to end on. So, have a good night, everybody.
Wow!